We're live.
Yep. All right, here we go. Ready?
Mhm.
In 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back.
That's right, baby. It's back. Season 3. Season
Here we
3.
go.
We're back in it.
It's your old pal Bojangles coming at you with the Fallstown podcast.
And you know it's hot sauce, the commish.
There he is, guys. We are back for season 3 of our Fallstown Fantasy podcast coming at you. We're going to be hitting you up with several podcasts over the next few weeks to get you ready for the 2016 season. Boy, this is a big one.
Big one. And this might be the craziest off season from the time of cuts all the way up through the draft, just because of who's in the draft. Maybe since we originally picked our original draft to pick our keepers. So this is exciting time.
Yeah, we got a lot of things to talk about. We got the year of Jubilee, of course. We've got a lot of things we want to talk about in this podcast. First of all, just to let you know, we're going to be reviewing the season. A lot of things to talk about from our last podcast, which means we're talking about the season of last year, all the things that happened, and then we're going to be talking about the off-season things that have happened in this podcast. So, we ready to go, Commish?
Yeah, let's get after it, man. I mean, kind of taking a look back at the 2015 season, our 14th season. I bet it was a good season for you, wasn't it, Bojangles?
It was, it was a great season for me. We're going to get into it. I'm just happy to sit here holding the trophy. But when we think about last year, really what we need to get to first is what happened about 2 or 3 weeks before draft weekend. We had some shocking Fallstown news. Shocking.
Yes, shocking Fallstown news. And, and we've kind of gone over it and talked about it, but Twinks quit the league.
Twinks quit the league. And so we were immediately thrust into this position of what are we going to do now? What are we going to do about this?
Right. And I think that, Alan Flack, Glorified G's, the voice of reason, he kept saying, guys, let's not rush into a decision. Let's take our time and think things out. And, of course, everybody else was, no, we got to go get James Tate. Let's get James and get it over with.
Right.
James joined the league, talks the most shit of anybody I've ever been around in my entire life.
I mean, he's a wild card. I mean, and when it comes
he's a wild card.
I mean, we talked about, are we going to have a ghost? Are we going to have a ghost team for a year? Are we going to, and did we rush into the decision? Some
yes,
would say yes.
We definitely. I am that some. We definitely rushed into that decision. We definitely rushed into it.
I mean, I personally am happy with the selection of James. I know there's some people that are a little nervous that we've done that, but
yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are nervous that we've done that.
But it happened, and that happened quick.
It happened, and we're stuck, and we passed a law that nobody's allowed to quit anymore, and so we're stuck with El Guapo for life. I still think he needs to change his name to Tater Salad. Yeah, and I'm not sure I'll ever refer to him as El Guapo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's Tater Salad. That happened. He came to the draft after golf and all that stuff. He made it, whatever. I had fun. It was a great draft weekend.
Great draft weekend. Pizzazz.
Rock
the dock. My voice was sore. It wasn't good. We're going back to old school Rock the Dock this year.
Fact.
Old school Rock the Dock, but Pizzazz. One thing that happened at the draft, Pizzazz traded for Peyton Manning, which at the time probably seemed like a good idea, but it turned out that Peyton Manning had a horrible season and was injured for half of it, so that killed Pizzazz's year. But he also had to give up a first-round pick this year, which just so happens to be the 4th pick in the draft. Right. So he is, in the year of Jubilee, he is not picking in the first round.
I mean, I guess he just he said, I'm going to push it all in and go Peyton and try to win. And that was a huge bust, like one of the greatest busts of Paulstown history.
Yes, and not only was it bust, but now he doesn't have the pick in probably the greatest draft in 10 years. He didn't have a pick in the front. I know.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, and so, speaking of busts, I was tearing things up in the league in the regular season. I had a great regular season, won the division, had the number 1 seed, had it locked up for a while, had a really good year. Odell Beckham was eating on folks. And
you were 11-3 in the regular season.
Yeah.
And as we think back about last year, I mean, you were running the regular season. We had about 6 other teams that were in the playoff hunt. I mean, I finished the league I was 8-6. We had El Guapo was 8-6. Wrecking Crew was 8-6.
And Wrecking Crew made the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. He's made the playoffs. Yes, he's made the playoffs twice in league history, in 2005 and 2015. He literally went 10 years in between playoff opportunities. At the same time, and it's painful to say, but Bojangles has made the playoffs 8 years in a row. 8 years
that's crazy.
In a row. That is crazy. And I looked it up. We've had this is the 15th season coming up. We've had 14 seasons. You've made the playoffs 10 of the 14 seasons. So there's only been 4 seasons that you weren't in the playoffs and had a chance to go win it. That's crazy.
That is crazy, but I credit that to hard work.
Okay.
Research. I mean, no one works harder in the off season than me, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that 10 playoffs. But
sure.
Thinking about
a lot of it had to do with you tanking to get Adrian Peterson.
No, I'll always defend that. That's not true. But one thing that did happen, it was a crazy thing. And Matt, old Tube Socks, has become sort of the whipping boy for the league because he's the biggest bitch. I mean, he bitches about the not making the playoffs so much, and
I know he hadn't made it in 4. He hadn't been there in over 4 years.
Well,
hadn't been in the playoffs.
And it was tight. Then during about halfway through the season, 3/4 of the way through, I thought that I was out, and it was down to the trade deadline, and I was so close to trading Julio Jones to him and just sort of, put myself in give up mode. I didn't think I was going to make it. And because we were just past the trade deadline, it couldn't happen. I was kind of bummed out that it didn't happen, but because of that, I mean, you look at what happened after that in the playoffs, it's crazy. I mean,
sure. And Tube Socks, now he wants to complain about the trade deadline and things like that. It's been the same week for 14 years of the league.
Yeah, he's always going to complain about something. But, so we get down to the playoffs. It's me.
I choke against – yeah, go ahead.
It's me and El Guapo. It's you and Wrecking Crew. Those are the 4 teams that make the playoffs.
Right. And I played El Guapo in the first round, and I got thumped. We were talking crap all week. He was doing that whole bit of there's no way I'll win. There's no way I'll win. He texts like 50 times per minute. But and then you and Wrecking Crew, maybe you had the greatest fantasy football playoff game of all time.
It was nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was like he was up so much.
Right.
And then I had maybe the greatest fantasy playoff run by a random guy in Kirk Cousins. I mean, he had like 30 or 40 something points in the playoffs per week. And it was just Kirk Cousins led me to beat Wrecking Crew, and along with Julio Jones. And then we get the championship week. And I'd kind of forgotten about this.
Sure. Well, let me go back real quick and talk to you about, this is more salt on the wound for Wrecking Crew. By the way, it being our 15th year coming up, the state of the league address before draft. Obviously, it's going to be very reminiscent of the league. A lot of stats, a lot of flashbacks and throwbacks to the days of old. I know this because I've been doing some research recently for that purpose. We've had 51 times in our league's history where there's been a player score 40 or more points in a single week. Okay. 51 times. Okay. 2 of those times were for Wrecking Crew, week 15. Cam Newton and David Johnson both scored 40-plus points, and this fool still lost. Can you believe that? That is nuts. The craziest game ever. This guy still lost.
That sucks for him. And, one thing I had forgotten about, so playoff week comes, and it's me versus El Guapo, and everyone else in the league is kind of in this weird position because no one wants James to win, but then no one wants really me to win.
No, if something would have happened, I don't know, but
I mean, it was a lose-lose.
I never want you to win. I never want you to win because we're tied for championships. But at the same time, El Guapo had turned himself into a league villain that, normally everybody roots for the guy that doesn't have any championships over you of all people. But it just seemed like nobody wanted him to win at all.
And I had this weird thing that happened during that week. It was probably on like the Wednesday or Thursday of that week. I'm sitting at home, and researching, getting ready to set my lineup, and my doorbell rings, and I go to the door, and there's somebody from Pizza Hut is at my door, right?
Okay.
And I'm thinking, what is? I didn't order a pizza, and they're like, no, somebody ordered. I said, well, I'm not paying for this. They said, no, it's already paid for. This is your pizza. So I'm like, okay, I bring it in and I open it up and I'm like, what is this pizza? I look at it closer and this is like an anchovy pizza. There's just little fish all over the whole pizza. And I'm thinking, what is this? I'm like, this is the biggest weird mistake ever. Rachel and I are trying to figure out what's going on. We throw the pizza away. I don't think about it again. And then the next day, Tater Salad texts me and says, did you like my gift? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And finally I put it together. He bought me an anchovy pizza and had it delivered to my house the week of the championship.
That's great.
It's pretty great.
That is great. Yeah, that is great. Well done, Tater Salad.
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah, Bojangles got the championship. I was really happy about that. I won my 3rd championship. Time Pizzazz, or does he have 4?
Pizzazz has 4.
Yeah, he has 4.
You are 3, and then Hot Sauce is next with 2, and actually Primetime can claim 2. He's got 1 on his own, and he can claim Greatness's 2005 championship. So the franchise of Primetime has 2, and so everybody else is with 1 or none. So congratulations on being in 2nd place all by yourself in championships.
Yeah, it was a great year. It's great to look back on that season. It's great, but we got this season. This is a big season, and we're going to talk about all the things that happened in the off season coming up next, right after this break. So come right back with us.
All
right. So now
let me get Brendan on this.
Okay.
If this audio is good, then this is going to be perfect.
Yep.
It's pretty cool that it switches in between, like this big screen switches between who's talking.
Oh, really?
Have you noticed that?
Mine doesn't do that. It just got me in the bottom small and you in the big.
Oh, I guess because mine's okay. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, because I click on me and it didn't. All right, waiting on Brendan. We'll wait about 3 minutes and then we're going to move on. He's probably. What about that video? The finger video.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Wasn't that the grossest thing ever?
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to call this fool real quick. Hey, what are you doing? The what?
I was just taking my wife in to go to sleep.
Okay. Are you available?
Yeah. Y'all want to do it now?
Oh, we're doing it. We're on. We're waiting for you to join up. Huh?
Why don't you tell me the time it starts?
Well, I have sent you an invitation on your Gmail. I've been texting you. Let's get on.
So y'all are going right now?
Yes.
Have y'all? So is there been an intro or?
Yeah, we intro.
What are we doing?
Okay, we'll get on and we can talk.
Okay. So it's not going to be recording if we talk right now?
It's going to be recording. We're just going to edit it out.
Okay.
All right.
Shoot, I got to plug my computer in. Yeah, I'll jump on.
All right.
All right.
Brennan says he has to plug his computer in. His desktop.
So what
This
are we gonna?
is awesome.
I think we need to get him in on and let him explain his finger thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll talk about the off season.
When are you leaving to go out of town?
Next Wednesday.
So no more. Wow. And y'all will be gone
For a month till July 17th.
The Draft Dominator. You know that app that we use.
Mm-hmm.
The 2016 version is not in the App Store, so I emailed the guys, and they emailed me back and said it's going to be in there June 27th.
Okay.
So, and I'm also have you done your video?
No, I haven't yet. I need to.
Have you done I need a logo and a picture from you.
Okay.
And I need some music.
Okay.
I'm doing fan draft this year, and it's pretty cool. Lester's called me tonight and said he's real nervous. He's going completely without paper and pencil for the first time in draft history.
That's funny. I honestly have not looked at one thing besides what people have texted. Like I don't even have a list of the free agents.
Well, nobody does. Crap, there's like 9 people on everybody's team. I kind of don't like how we do that.
Yeah, people need to cut people.
Yeah.
Brennan said, restarting computer, acting crazy. Oh, great.
Let me show you Let me show you some of the stuff I've been doing.
All right.
On this Excel file. Okay, so
Golly.
okay, so look, each team has their own tab. Okay, so I put the information in here, and then these automatically add up. Okay, so this is all your stuff. Then I'm not gonna let you look at all of it, but this is all your superlatives, your first ever draft pick. Then these are all your best ever players by week.
That's genius.
Like you have the number 2 player all time was Sean Alexander in 2002 week 4. He scored 53.1 points.
Oh, who was ahead of him?
Okay, so then you go to here. This tab is greatest FTFF performances. Boom. Number 1 is Clinton Portis, Denver.
Yeah, I remember that.
Moonshiners 55.
How'd you get all this?
Okay, so crazy, dude. Like I will show you. Let me pull it up. Matter of fact, this.
Look how many times LaDainian Tomlinson's on that list.
No kidding, dude. And then the other one the one on the right is all-time performances in a season. So like how many total points, and it was LaDainian for a long time, and then Peyton had that year in Denver. And then you go in and say, okay, how many times did the guy on my team score the most points in a year? And yours was 1. Okay. Brendan's calling. This is going to be an ass kick, dude. Yes. Oh, yeah. What?
There it is. Got it.
Okay. The video call? Huh?
The video call?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, so hop on.
Oh, wow. Got it. Okay, got it.
Okay, you should be popping up.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Okay.
There you go.
There it is.
How you doing? Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay. Hey, Pizzazz, what's up, bud?
Hey, Bojangles. Wow, this is cool. Okay.
All right, so Brendan, here's what we're going to do. We're starting the second segment of this podcast, and we're going to start it out by me and Mark bringing it out of break, and then we're going to welcome you. And
are you gonna keep making those spit sounds like you used to do?
Yeah. We're going to welcome you, and then we're gonna, before we get into anything, I want you to tell us about your finger and all that stuff. Okay?
Did you see the video?
Yeah, and so you tell us. Wow, that's different looking now.
She popped it.
So you tell us about that, and then we're gonna go into, and then I'll bring us back around, and we'll go into some of the things that have happened all season, the big trade that happened. Mark will talk through that, and we'll just get input on the off season, the trades, and get your input on how you're feeling about all that. Okay.
Okay.
Don't be too much of a dipshit.
Hold on. I need to pull up all these transactions.
Yeah, because there were so many.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need headphones? We don't need headphones for this.
I do.
No, you need headphones, Brendan, because otherwise the stuff that we're saying will come out.
Will it?
And then as you talk, we'll end up picking up all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready, Mark?
No.
You can be looking it up as he's talking about his finger.
Yeah, I am ready actually.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome on back. It's your
Hey.
And you know it's hot sauce, the commish.
That's right, guys. We are back here for the second segment of this first podcast, and we have a special guest with us on the line. It's your old pal Pizzazz.
All-time champion. Number 1 rankings of all time.
Debatable.
Wait,
debatable. They do change.
Well, you have the data, so the data supports my opinion.
All right.
Well, listen. Before we get into
that's to be revealed. That's to be revealed in the State of the League. Sorry.
Reveal Pizzazz as the number 1 champion.
Well, before we get into fantasy stuff, the first thing of importance that we want to talk about with Pizzazz is we want to today. Actually, we all got this text message about this disgusting finger that you had. So we want to hear about what happened and why your finger looked like it did, and what that's just disgusting. And so tell us about that.
Well, the angle grinder caught my headphone, which is why I'm using Christina's headphones right now to record this podcast. It caught my headphone cord, and that's the last thing I know, because I saw the thing jump across my fingers, and I was like, "Oh, S." I had gloves on, and yeah.
So you grinded you cut your finger.
Well, if I had the cutoff wheel thing on there, I would have lost my finger. But fortunately, I just had the.
My God.
Fortunately, I just had the sanding one on there. Someone's eating chips right now.
No.
Oh. Fortunately, I had the sanding one on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad.
So then what? So this happened today?
No, this happened last night.
Okay, and then all of a sudden your finger swelled up.
Swelled up instantly, and Christina said, "You're not supposed to pop it." And I was like, "I don't know about that. It's really big." And she was like, "Don't pop it, don't pop it." And so I was like, "Okay, I won't pop it." And then I had to Google search that to verify.
How'd that search end up?
Well, it said.
I can't imagine the images that you saw as you were Googling that.
And it said if it's so big that you might be running into someone at a restaurant and it pops on them, you should probably pop it. Or if you're signing a contract and you bend your finger the wrong way and it pops,
oh my God.
Pop. So.
Basically, always pop it.
If it's big.
Okay.
So you popped it, and speaking of popping it, another big thing happened in the off season is that Pizzazz got married.
Hey!
Hey, congrats! Speaking of popping it, that's gross.
So yes,
not even going there.
So she, in the loving wife that she is, she popped it herself, and she was real pumped about it. And I was like, let's try to fill a shot glass full of this blood.
Are you still talking about the finger now, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We popped it pretty hard.
Oh, Pizzazz is married. Everyone in the league is married again.
Again?
Oh, well, sorry. Anyway,
so yes,
things are good.
We are all married, yes.
Things are good. Congratulations from the league. What we want to do in this segment too now is talk about some of the things that have happened so far this off season, because we have had in the past month or less crazy amounts of trades. This is the year of Jubilee, guys.
Prime time.
Yeah, and Prime Time has done things. So Mark, why don't you run us through a few of the things that have happened, and we'll kind of talk through some of that.
Sure. Well, obviously there's been a lot of trades that have gone down. Those are, big time. But I think the biggest one that we can get to is the trade between Primetime and Woodco. And let me just kind of, there's so many picks exchanging hands. It's going to be kind of hard to explain, and I'm not going to go through all of them. But basically, this is what happened. Primetime said, all right, Woodco, if you give me your first-round pick, which is the third pick in the draft, then I will give you the rest of my picks from round 2 on.
God. This reminds
rest
me of Mike Ditka wearing a wedding dress, or Ricky Williams wearing a wedding dress. Who was it?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. I mean, he traded his whole draft.
I'll trade you my whole draft.
Okay, so let's talk about the merits of him doing it for both people. Okay, so first off, you're looking at Woodco, who is going to pick 3rd. Okay, and now he doesn't have that pick anymore. But that being said, he'll have his team completed by the middle of the 7th round.
He picks twice in every round from the 2nd round on.
Correct.
He had 2 picks every round. Golly,
ridiculous.
So how do y'all feel about that? Honestly, was that a smart move?
Well, this is my first thought. Well, I know that he was shopping that trade around because he offered it to more than one person.
Shopping hard.
Yeah, and my initial thought was, the trade. I talked to another league member about this, and the trade initially was so shocking. It was like, this is stupid. I can't do this trade because it's too. I mean, I don't even know how to put that in my head, and so I think at first it was just so crazy. You don't even know if it's good or bad or what is it.
Yeah. So let's take a look at it from both sides. I don't think it was a good trade for either person, and I'm going to explain why.
Yeah, explain why.
Well, okay, so from Woodco's perspective, okay, first off, I think it's a very fair trade, considering that this is the year Jubilee, although I don't think either person should have done it, okay? And so from Woodco's perspective, if you've got a team that's got some really, really good keepers, okay, so like Rip's team, okay, Rip is going to go into the draft with 5 players that are solid.
Can you pull up Rip's team here?
I can. I'll pull up the Rip's team, although these people who are listening to this can't see it.
Correct, they can't.
Okay, but that's all right. But prior past it.
Let's just get some data behind it.
Sure. So Rip's going to go into the draft with. He's going to develop David Johnson, who's a top 5 running back. Lamar Miller is going to be a top 5 running back, and then he's going to have Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, and Allen Robinson, 3 top 7 receivers. So his team is freaking loaded. Okay. So with it being loaded, if I don't have a 1st round pick, but now 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 5th round, I'm just building depth to make a playoff run. I can see that. But Woodco's team is not built like that.
No,
okay.
It never.
Woodco usually never is.
No.
Woodco needs star power, and he doesn't have it. Okay. At the same time, Primetime is trying to build up star power by getting, he's got 3 picks in the top 12. But here's what he's done. He's got Mariota, but he traded away Devonta Freeman to Leicester's. Okay, that's a top running back. He traded away Thomas Rawls to me for a pick, and then he traded Randall Cobb away. I mean, he's trading away all his players, and he's trying to get back picks.
I mean, he's totally rebuilding is what it feels like.
Yes, and so I don't know. I feel like he's kind of given up on the season. I get, but you never know. You never know what's going to happen down the line with all these people that you draft. But
I mean, he's going to have the most top-heavy team. He's going to have like 4 guys that are awesome, and then he's not going to have anybody after that.
Yeah, but he I don't know, man. It's crazy. If it works out and he's successful, he's going to look like a genius. If Woodco's successful, Woodco will look like a genius. I guess you can't really judge it until the results.
So Primetime gave up all these picks, but then he keeps trading and he keeps getting more picks. So
yes, he's getting picked.
Genius here.
Right, he's getting picks back, but now go look at his roster. Okay, he doesn't have anybody left on this team.
Nothing.
Okay, nothing. He's got Mariota, Eddie Lacy, Jarvis Landry, who I like, and then Spares.
Okay. He's so high on Green Beckham too. Hey Pizzazz, let me ask you a question. This kind of deals with this off season now, but we talked about it in the first part of the podcast. But you made a big trade last draft when you traded for Peyton Manning.
Who could have known?
I know, and you gave up your first round
pick
in the year of Jubilee. So
in the year of Jubilee.
Talk about how you feel about that.
Well, I'm pissed, frankly. I was betting on winning the championship this year with Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, neither of which I have now.
No.
I'm just so glad you suck.
Nor do I have a first-round pick this year. In the year of Jubilee, coined by Pizzazz.
Oh, really? You're taking credit for that, huh?
No, he did. Coined by Pizzazz.
Yeah, I will agree to that. Okay, so who are you planning on keeping then? Pizzazz, taking a look at your team. I mean, you're going to keep Andrew Luck, but he's a one-year guy.
Yeah, I don't know who's on my team. Look it up.
Okay, it's literally on the screen right there in front of you.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to keep Daddy Vaughn.
Okay.
Obviously, because I traded back for him. David Carr, legit. Amari Cooper, obviously. Calvin Johnson, I plan on keeping him. I think he's going to be really good this year.
He retired.
Oh, okay.
And he's a zero. You have to drop him.
So I traded for him too, and I don't have that either. So let's see. Is Peyton? No, Peyton's not.
No, Peyton retired too.
Okay.
You have two guys that retired, man. It's gonna be tough.
This is the guy that's winning the league right now as far as championships.
Unbelievable.
It's a little tough having two keepers on my team that retired.
Yes, it is. It's been tough.
Yeah.
One of which I traded a first-round pick for.
Sure.
Well, listen, guys, it's been great to sit and review with Pizzazz. It's great to hear from him. You know what we're going to do now? We're going to wrap this podcast up because in our next podcast we've got some great. We're going to have another call in from someone with some pretty hot sports opinions on some pretty interesting topics, and we're probably going to keep Pizzazz around for some of this too.
Are we going to have entertainment news with Bojangles next?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Just you guys hang on. We'll be sending the next podcast out after here in the next couple days. But thanks for listening, guys. We're so excited about 2016, the year of Jubilee. It's going to be the best draft ever, right?
Oh, you bet. Yes,
it's going to be. Great.
Oh gosh, I'm already.
Well, thanks for listening, guys, and just remember, it's been your old pal Bojangles.
And you know it's hot sauce, the commish.
All-time champion, Pizzazz.
Coming in with you guys. We'll see y'all soon next time. All right.
Okay. So look, all right. So just for brevity's sake, I'm going to stop this broadcast.
Yep.
And then I'm going to invite y'all to a new one.
Are y'all kicking me off there?
No. Let's keep you on.
I'm kicking everybody off. Do you want to keep going on the same one, Jason?
No. Yeah, let's start a new one.
Okay. I'm going to start a new one. I'm going to start a new one and I'm going to get Lester's involved.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Be right back.